Hi everyone. I wanted to make a video in which I walk you through how to make discussion forum posts in my classroom. So first, let's take a look at the instructions here. I'm going to walk you through all the aspects of the assignment instructions as well as the rubric that we're going to be using to grade your posts. Now, this is the discussion forum post for the first week of class 1-2, week 1 discussion, introductions within writers groups. We have some reminders here for the deadlines. So what is due? You have an initial discussion post that is due Thursday of week 1 by 11:55 p.m. And then you need to do at least 2 reply posts, which are where you're going to be replying to what your peers have shared in their post. And those are going to be due Sunday of week 1 by 11:55 p.m. as well. I'm going to come back to the rubric here in a moment. I want to first walk through the activity instructions. So you'll see here we have for the initial discussion post, we're going to open this up to see the guidelines for the initial post. Each online discussion consists of initial posts in which you respond to the prompt and reply posts in which you respond to your classmates. See below for your instructions for this week's discussion. So your initial post. During this course, you will be interacting in your discussions in a writers group, a small subset of the whole class. Discuss at least 4 key areas of your life. Here are some ideas to get you started. So then we have a list here of different aspects, key areas of your life that you can talk about. The instructions indicate that you need to talk about at least 4 key areas of your life. So you don't need to talk about all of these, just pick 4 that stand out to you. Or other aspects of your life that are maybe not listed here. So that's what you need to do for the initial post. That's the post that is due Thursday. And then we're going to open up the instructions for the reply posts by clicking this arrow here. For your reply posts, and these are the posts that are due Sunday, you need to reply to at least 2 of your classmates. Well, what should I say? You may wish to welcome them to the class, share anything you have in common, and importantly, ask questions of them. These forums are meant to be like talking to your fellow students in class, just online. It is always good to stay positive and to offer encouragement so that we build a strong and thriving online classroom together. So that's what you need to do for your reply posts here. Each week, if you open up the little arrow that says for reply discussion posts, that will give you some guidance, some instructions on what your replies need to consist of. Now here we'll see the initial post requirements. The length, your post needs to be a minimum of 250 words. The quality, the post should follow all the above instructions and be carefully reviewed for spelling and grammatical issues. And then credit, if you use any outside sources for this activity, which you are not required to do for this first post, but if you do use any sources, those need to be cited correctly in APA format. Now for the reply posts, we have some different guidelines. So I'm going to click this to take a look at what those guidelines are. The length, your replies need to be a minimum of 100 words each. You must have at least 2 strong replies to classmates, but you are encouraged to do more. 2 is just the minimum, but we always like to see when people are actively engaged in the discussion boards. Quality, your replies should be carefully reviewed for spelling and grammar issues. And again, if you use any sources, make sure that you are properly citing those in APA format. In a minute here, I'm going to open up the rubric for the discussion board posts. But let's take a look at these tips for success. First of all, use Microsoft Word to type and save your work, then copy and paste it into the discussion forum. This will preserve your work in case you encounter a technical issue. You don't want to lose your work. You don't want to spend a bunch of time typing up a forum post and then, your computer crashes or something, or it's always good to back up your work and save it. So I would not type directly in the text box in the forum. I'll show you that in a minute. I would type it first in Microsoft Word or maybe Google Drive, and then copy and paste it into the forum. Number 2, do not submit posts as file attachments unless the instructions specifically ask you to do so. Be sure that you are proofreading your work before submitting it. You want to make sure that your post has no spelling or grammar or punctuation issues. Number 4, engage with classmates more frequently than on the day that something is due. Number 5, ask questions, share stories, engage with your peers in more than just the minimum number of replies. 6, follow up later in the week to respond to classmates who have replied to your original post to help keep the conversation going. So your peers are required to respond to you, and it's a good idea to check back in on those posts just to see what questions they might have asked and to keep the conversation flowing. It doesn't have to stop with just the reply posts. And then number 7, as always, reach out to your instructor if you are unsure of any aspect of the assignment. If you need help with something, we are all more than happy to help you out with it. All right, so now let's take a look at the rubric that your instructors are going to be using to grade your posts. Most of the forum posts that you will be doing in English 200 use this rubric. Occasionally, a different rubric will be used, but for the most part, this is the rubric that is used for most of the discussions. So you'll see here that your initial post is broken up into 2 categories. We have content and we have quality. Each of those categories is worth 4 points. Notice it says 4 out of 8. So your initial post is worth 8 points. And then your responses, your reply posts, are also worth 8 points. It's 4 points each, 4 points for each of the 2 minimum replies that you're required to do. Now let's take a look at how to get full points here. So this is for the initial post. If we want to get the total 4 points for the content category, you need to make sure that your post illustrates a clear understanding of content matter as indicated by the use of appropriate foundational knowledge, factual content, and supporting examples. You need to make sure that your post uses relevant content-specific vocabulary correctly and demonstrates critical thinking, applications of ideas, and connections to other ideas. So that's how you get full points, all 4 points, for the content of your initial post. And then here's a description of what will earn you 3 points, what will earn you 2 to 1 points, and what will earn you 0 points. So I'm not going to read all of these to you, but you get 0 points if you don't have a post or if the post is off topic. The 2 to 1 point category, if you demonstrate weak understanding of the content matter, you don't demonstrate critical thinking, things like that. So obviously you want to aim for everything that is here in the 4 point box. And let's take a look at how to get 4 points, full points, for the quality section. It needs to meet the length requirement. So your initial post needs to be at least 250 words. So if you don't have at least 250 words, you will be short of the length requirement and you'll lose some points. You need to make sure that your post is professional, with positive or constructive insight about the topic. It needs to be posted by the due date. It needs to be written with formality. So you want to avoid slang, abbreviations. You want to make sure you're writing in full sentences. It needs to be virtually free of grammatical errors, which is defined as 2 or less grammatical errors. And it should include fully correct APA-style citations and references as necessary. Not all of the posts are going to require sources to be used, but if you do use a source, make sure that it is correctly cited in APA. You'll notice here that if your post does not include APA-style citations and references, that gets you an automatic 0 points. So if you are using a source, make sure that it is correctly cited in APA. You'll notice for the 3 point and 2 to 1 point categories, Things that will, lose you points is if you have many grammatical errors, if it is well short of the length, if it's not written in a professional manner. So when you are making your initial post, make sure that you're doing all the things here in the 4-point box so that you get full credit. And lastly, let's take a look at what you need to do to get full points for your reply posts. Your reply posts need to have a superior extension of the discussion. So if you're not really saying much in your replies, if your replies are kind of shallow, you're not really doing much to keep the conversation going, then you're not going to get full points for your reply posts. They need to meet the length requirements. Your replies need to be at least 100 words. Your replies need to be accurate and logical. They need to be virtually free of mugs issues. Mugs refers to mechanics, usage, grammar, and spelling. And if you cite any sources, they need to include fully correct APA-style citations. So that's how you're going to be graded for both your initial posts as well as your reply posts. So we've gone over all the instructions now. We've taken a look at the rubric. Let's now go to the discussion board and look at how you're actually going to make the post. So here on My Classroom, in the top navigation bar here, we have a link, a button that says Discussions. You'll hit that. You'll see Week 1 discussion. You'll see a reminder of where you can go to find the instructions. We just went over all the instructions, so we don't need to do that. And you have some general instructions here about how to make the posts, and I'm going to walk you through that now. So let's click on the title of the forum, and that's going to take us to this page. And then there's going to be a button that says Start New Thread, so I'm going to click on that. And you will be assigned a writers group. So your posts will not be read by the entire class. It will just be read by a small group of your peers. For now, I'm just going to hit all groups. In this line, you're going to put a subject. So the subject of this post is introduction. We're introducing ourselves. And actually, I'm going to put my name here as well. Jacob's introduction. And then I'm then going to type up my post in a separate document in Microsoft Word or in Google Docs. When I'm done, I'm going to paste that here. And actually, let me actually write something. I'm just going to put test for now. When I have copied and pasted my initial post into this text box here, when I have given myself a good subject, I'm going to scroll down to the button that says post. I'm going to go ahead and make that post. And then it'll take you back to this page and you'll see my post here. So Jacob's introduction, here's the text of the post. And if you want to reply to the post, so, again, part of the assignment is to reply to your peers. You'll find a peer's post that you want to read and respond to. You will hit the title of their post, and you'll just hit reply to thread. And here is where you will type your reply. When you're done making your post, following all the instructions that we went over a few minutes ago, you'll then hit post. And then you'll see your reply in response to their initial post. So that is how you follow the instructions for the discussion forums and how you actually make the posts and replies on the discussion board. If you have any questions about how to do any of this, please reach out to your instructor and they will be happy to help you.